How you doing, everybody? This is Jehoiadak Maccabeus Everyday Survival. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope everybody's staying ahead of the curve. Hope everybody's enjoying life, staying happy, helping each other, helping your fellow man. Anyway, I want to do a video today. I'm not even sure what I'm going to call it yet. I'm going to take you on a little tour, so here we go. Alright, this is my old house. As you can see, it's got a lot of things wrong with it. Big hole in the floor there. I haven't lived in this house for several years. I still got stuff stored in it. Some of it not so organized. The roof leaks, the walls leak. Anyway, there's a few things that are on this old shelf. This is the old kitchen. I had started remodeling in here. This is the living room. As you can see, the ceiling's falling off. You can see daylight through the wall there. Still quite a bit of stuff in here. I'm sure a lot of you know what that apparatus there is. That apparatus. Cannon rings. You see the mold on the walls where the roof leaks and the walls leak. There's some books that still belong in my survival library. My better books are in my building. That's good whiskey there. They don't make it anymore. There's no whiskey in the bottle. Alright, you might say, Mac, why are you showing us this? Okay. This is about a post-apocalyptic world that people always talk about. And I think there's a chance of it. That's one of the reasons I prepare for it. I don't pontificate about it on here. I'll mention it some, but it's a possibility of where life can go. We could go back to the 1800s or beyond. It's a possibility, in my opinion, which I'm going to have a right to. But anyway, a lot of people want to bug out with these big bags and tents and sleeping shelters, and that's really just a big fantasy, people. You have no security in a tent or a shelter. I see the ability to be able to construct a shelter being necessary. That it is. That shouldn't be your priority by any means. All right. Several years ago, it's probably been close to 8 or 9 years ago, this house had a lot more stuff in it, and I was in another state. Maybe 7 years ago. But anyway, a good friend of mine, we were in here, and I said something about if things ever went to shit, that and I wasn't around to come and help himself anything he needed in this whole house. And it had a lot more stuff in it. It was more organized back then. The leaks weren't near as bad. And anyway, he was kind of a bug outer mindset, backpack, family tent, And he looked at me and he said, if I had this, I'd set fire to it. And I get, because that's the way people's mindsets are. But a lot of I told him, I said, well, there's a lot of survival stuff in here you might need. And if you're going to be a survivalist and prepare for that post-apocalyptic fantasy world, you don't want to be in a tent or a shelter. You're very vulnerable, not just to elements and stuff, but to attack from bears or whatever wildlife's in your area that could be a predator, uh, two-legged predators. Uh, if you're in a tent sleeping, you may even be by yourself. You may not have a dog. Um, the guy on watch may have got killed. You know, you're vulnerable. You can't see what's outside your tent. There was a murder that happened up in Iowa that it's been the last couple of years over by the Nebraska Iowa line, and this man and woman and kid was camping at a state campground, and some guy from Nebraska come over and executed him right there in their tent. And you're very vulnerable when you're out in the elements. Walls are security. That's why we've evolved over time in our mindset uh, and started building walls several thousand years ago. You know, um, vehicles aren't much better. They're better than being in a tent, I believe, but uh, they're not as secure as one might want to pretend. There was a job I was working several years ago, and I had a F-350 Super Crew, and I was sleeping in my truck, me and my dog. Not the old boy I got now. It was the female I had before him, and I was in a pretty rough city in North Carolina, and you could hear screaming in the night and gunshots, and uh, drugs were real bad. But anyway, sleeping in my truck at night, I would take towels and I would roll my window down or open the door and stick towels through and hang in front of the windows so that somebody couldn't just walk up and be looking in at me while I was sleeping. Um, anyway, um, you should be trying to get yourself into some kind of a sanctuary if you do have to bug out. That shouldn't be your priority at all. And some of the items I showed at the beginning of the video, the food processing equipment, that's going to be very important for sustaining life in a post-apocalyptic world. And maybe not for yourself. You may have your own place with all the things, but it's still good things to pick up and take if you're out scavenging, because those will also make good barter items if you're wanting to help other people to survive. And anyway, I hope all this made sense to you. I'm sure I forgot something. I always do, but I'm getting kind of long on this. Y'all stay safe. Have a good day, and talk to you next time. Oh, there is one more thing. You probably missed it. Go check out Corsair Trainers. Um, he likes to shoot holes in a lot of people's fantasies, especially as far as training goes. That's one of the reasons I like him. A lot of people, the way they act, they went to John Wick's um, class for living a better death, because most of that stuff's fantasy. Anyway, stay safe. Have a good day.